Hey guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and I am not bringing you more Q right now because there is no Q, but I do want to bring this situation with North Korea to keep you abreast of everything that's happening there because it's important. It really is important. And I know everybody's thinking, what the heck is going on with this? Because Q said a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, that this was all wrapped up. It's all a done deal. And I happen to believe that. I believe that this that's happening right now is some staging. So we're going to just visit that briefly to get some understanding on that. I am also going to do a video today, a second video on the crash, because several people said that they wanted me to break down the video and bring some more information about that. So I'm going to do that later today in a separate video. But right now, let's get back to this. Let me read. This is President Trump's letter, which he dictated himself, apparently, to Kim Jong-un. We greatly appreciate your time, patience, and effort with respect to our recent negotiations and discussions relative to a summit long sought by both parties, which was scheduled to take place on June 12th in Singapore. We were informed that the meeting was requested by North Korea, but that to us is totally irrelevant. I was very much looking forward to being there with you. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting. Therefore, please let this letter serve to represent that the Singapore summit for the good of both parties, but to the detriment of the world, will not take place. You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God that they will never have to be used. Strong message there. I felt wonderful dialogue was building up between you and me, and ultimately, it is only that dialogue that matters. Someday, I look very much forward to meeting you. In the meantime, I want to thank you for the release of the hostages who are now home with their families. That was a beautiful gesture and was very much appreciated. If you change your mind having to do with this most important summit, please do not hesitate to call or write. The world, and North Korea in particular, has lost a great opportunity for lasting peace and great prosperity and wealth. This missed opportunity is a truly sad moment in history. And it's signed President Donald Trump. I did clip this from somewhere, and I didn't have room to clip the signature, but this is all over the news, so it's easily verifiable that this is Donald Trump's letter. And then Donald Trump tweeted, what is today? Today's the 25th, so this was tweeted today. Very good news to receive the warm and productive statement from North Korea. We will soon see where it will lead, hopefully to long and enduring prosperity and peace. Only time and talent will tell. Now, remember that Q told us that this was all wrapped up. Then we have hostile statements from North Korea. Trump immediately writes a letter, cancels the summit in Singapore. Then, very short time afterwards, Kim Jong-un has a direct about face saying he's willing to meet. Yeah, that's a little odd. Like, what's going on? Maybe we know that the CIA has been cleaned out of there. We know that because Q told us. So the CIA is out of there, but who else might be having an influence on North Korea? Well, I think possibly China. So we don't even really know if those were the sentiments of Kim Jong-un, and I don't believe they were, or the sentiments of perhaps someone who is using him as a mouthpiece. And I think that that's a very real possibility. I do think that Kim Jong-un is walking a tightrope right now, trying to stay alive. I really do. And trying to keep his people alive, because I don't believe for a moment that he wants his people nuked. So, what's really going on? Well, I'm going to take you out to Twitter. I know, nobody's taken you out in a very long time, and when they do, they take you to Twitter. It's rough. It's really rough. Now, this is Thomas Wicker, and he's of True Pundit, and I do respect his journalism. Just one moment. that was delicious. Okay. And he says, aha. So this is the plan. Here's the North Korean statement. Now, this is itty bitty, itty bitty, itty bitty. And I'm not going to read it all, but it's there. Okay. And it says at the bottom, which kind of gets to the whole crux of it, there is no doubt that we will not be able to meet you at first, but if you solve it step by step, it will be better. If the relationship is better than now. If you want to be worse, you will have to ponder the U.S. too deeply. We reiterate to the U.S. that there is a willingness to sit down at any time in any way to solve the problem. Now, the reason I didn't read all this is because I stumble when I read it because it's not in English as we would perceive English to be. So, now, Thomas has, and I recommend that you follow him, by the way, because he is very good. And his little thing says, author, novelist, and the planet's only expert on World War I flamethrowers. So, there you go. Anyway, I do appreciate his stuff. Now, he says, 2, the disgraceful situation shows how severe the present situation of the seasonal hostility with deep historical roots and how desperately needing reunification for the improvement of the relationship is shown. 3, the North Koreans are saying the U.S. and North Korea can't even talk due to the mutual historical baggage, so the only solution is reunification with the South. Oh my God. Kim Jong-un is saying that in order to improve relations, he's willing to dissolve his country. Think about that. That's huge. And I happen to agree with this guy. I happen to agree. He's saying that in order to improve relations, he's willing to dissolve his country. And, you know, it's interesting because, yes, North Korea has always been an albatross around the neck of the U.S. And so, it's got a bad name, and he's willing to dissolve his country and amalgamate, or whatever you call it, with South Korea in order to improve that relationship so that they can truly sit down at the table. So I think this has been planned all along. 4, and with one statement, China loses control of North Korea. Think about that. That is massive. And he says, incredible. Trump and Bolton and Kim and Moon pulled off the mother of all deceptions. Now, I believe that to be true. And that is why, day by day, my respect grows for this president. Doesn't mean I agree with everything he says, but I sure do respect him. And my respect is not easily won. I don't know, anyone looking at this stuff and wondering about his mental state, or, if he's stable, if he's, mentally competent, whether he's smart enough, the man's a genius. He's a genius. So next, Thomas says, 5, next Trump will agree to meet Kim. And he'll thank Kim and his people for graciously agreeing to meet with him. That is what's going on. See, the Chinese were thinking small, nukes. Trump and Kim were thinking big, reunification. Now, if you're not smiling right now, then perhaps you're depressed because this is truly something to smile about. Now, number 6, This won't be the same as the reunification of Germany. Koreans aren't Germans. A gigantic new market is opening up. Kim and Moon will steer this ship of state brilliantly. And I believe that that's so. 7, always trust Trump. Now, he and I differ there. I think that he's just a man. He's flesh and blood. And I'm not talking about manhood as in opposed to women. I'm talking about he's just mankind. And he's flesh and blood. And he can make an error. So it is always prudent to look critically at things and evaluate. But I understand what he's saying. He and Kim had us looking over there, while in fact the two of them were working over there. Oh wait, he and Kim had us looking over here, while in fact the two of them were working over there. That's an interesting statement. Well put. Let's do this in real time. I've never studied why the unification on Germany was so problematic. And 9. And it's what I figured. They didn't prepare for it. So I'm not going to go out to this. You know, he's evidently a very smart man. And he's comparing the reunification of Korea with that of Germany and why the one in Germany had so many difficulties. So it's interesting. And it is an interesting thing to study. I would like to look further into that, but we won't do that now. 10, there was massive confusion about property rights as wave after wave of Nazi, Soviets, and later GDR expropriations had taken place between 1933 and 1989. Okay, he's going into the Germany thing, and that I didn't want to get into so much. So, but interesting. Yeah, what's this? The two fearless, altruistic visionaries came to power at the same time. They'd known each other for many years. This is just, he's got a lot of interesting things on his Twitter. So if you have Twitter, why not follow him? Yeah. So that's what's happening in North Korea. So I know you guys, just like I was saying, what's going on? And I just kept thinking about this and looking at the opinion of some other people that I value. And when I came across this, I thought, yeah, that's it. That's absolutely it. That's where my thinking was leaning. But he put it into words so succinctly and so well that I wanted to take you out there and show you. So anyway, that's it for this, and I will be back today with at least one other video and possibly 2. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day and stay safe.